Honorable judges, greetings. We are Team BRIliant, Farel Bunga and Nai Charissa. Today, we're presenting our strategy to orchestrate Indonesia's largest MSME ecosystem. PT Bank Rakyat Indonesia has built an unparalleled end-to-end network, serving 34.5 million borrowers through 27,000 frontline monthly. Under the BRI Evolution 2.0 transformation, BRI's strategic priority has shifted. The goal is no longer ecosystem construction, but ecosystem optimization. However, BRI's ability to drive MSME's graduation is bottlenecked by three severe constructural constraints. First, finite capacity. Each monthly manage an average of 456 borrowers, leaving a maximum of only 3.4 hours per borrower annually. Second, operational asymmetry. BRI support comprehensively tax lending, but ignores the empowerment and activities. Because of this subjective field assessment, scarce monthly hours are misallocated towards basic literacy rather than high-value market access. Third, a massive scale mismatch. Supply-side lending reached 34.5 million customers, yet demand-side programs like BRIliant Pioneer reach only 1,200 MSMEs. To resolve three constraints, BRI must execute the active ecosystem orchestration. We propose a three-pillar here. Strategy that dynamically reallocated existing resources, transforming static assets into an adaptive commercialization engine without requiring a single addition to headcount. And here's how we will achieve it.
Before discussing our solution, we first need to understand how Indonesia's MSME landscape has fundamentally changed. Today, the government priority is no longer simply increasing the number of MSMEs. Through RJMPN 2025 to 2029, the focus has shifted towards improving productivity by helping business adopt technology, formalize operation, and integrate into higher value market. This creates an important implication. As MSME become more mature, financing alone is no longer enough. Every business begins facing different constraints. Some struggle with bookkeeping, others need branding, while more mature business require buyer network or expert facilitation. In other words, MSME need more increasingly heterogeneous. We then map BRI financing architecture as an MSME graduation journey. Although the product appear to represent financing stages, they actually reflect capability development. From business formalization and operational readiness to bankability and commercial readiness. Our analysis revealed that the main bottleneck across these stages are not financing gaps, but capability gaps that prevent MSMEs from progressing. At the same time, the area already possesses a comprehensive empowerment ecosystem. Therefore, the challenge is no longer creating more programs, but ensuring that the right intervention reach the right MSME at the right stage.
Let's start with what we found inside BRI's own ecosystem across 5 pillars, from building capacity with Link UMKM and Rumah BUMN to financing through KUR and KUPEDES to commercializing via BRIliant Pioneer to strengthening local ecosystem, and finally scaling delivery through BRImo and agent BRI Link. And BRI already owns every capability and MSME needs to grow. So the real question isn't does BRI have the tools, it is are those tools reaching the right MSME at the right time. That question led us to build an issue tree. We found 2 root gaps, an intervention targeting gaps, and a resource allocation gap. Drilling deeper, 4 sub-issues emerged. Assessment is still observation-based, referrals are fragmented, and commercialization support after capability building is limited, and high-touch resources are allocated uniformly instead of where they are needed most. These aren't hypothetical. Pak Dedi from PNM told us assessment remains observations based and referral is fragmented. Ibu Ondang told us marketing matters more than capital and that support pathways remain unclear. So our strategic questions become clear. How can BRI maximize MSME graduations by improving interventions targeting and optimizing resource allocations, not by building something new, but by making what already exists work harder?
Based on these findings, we introduced ASCEND. Rather than building new empowerment programs, ASCEND transforms how BRI allocates and coordinates its existing ecosystem. The strategy consists of 3 integrated pillars: adaptive assessment intelligence, progressive commercialization engine, and navigation and dynamic referral. Together, this pillar ensures that every MSME receives support based on its actual business constraint, while scarce high-touch resources are concentrated where they generate the greatest impact towards demand intervention. Let's begin with our first pillar, adaptive assessment intelligence. Currently, intervention decisions rely heavily on observation-based assessment, meaning similar MSMEs may receive different recommendations depending on the individual monthly. This creates inconsistent intervention matching. To solve this, we embed a rule-based adaptive diagnostic engine into BRIspot. Instead of asking every MSME the same question, the system dynamically adjusts follow-up questions based on previous responses to identify each enterprise's primary business constraint. The output is business constraint profile that automatically recommend the most appropriate empowerment pathway. During field visit, Mantri simply validate the recommendation, explain the proposed intervention, and guide MSME through the next steps. This standardized assessment will allowing Mantri to focus on higher value advisory activities rather than subjective diagnosis.
Now, to Pilot 2, the progressive commercialization engine, here's the asymmetry we found. Link UMKM served 15.6 million users and Cluster Kuhidupku supports over 4,300 clusters. But BRIliantpreneur, BRI's market access program, reaches only around 1,200 exporters out of 34.2 million borrowers. So instead of building a new program, we redesign the journey in 4 stages. First, we prepare MSMEs for market through assessment, standardizations, and storytelling because every product deserves a story. Second, we generate demand by turning Rumah BUMN from a passive showcase into an active sales facilitation hub, where dedicated officers proactively pitch MSMEs to institutional buyers. Third, we enabled market executions with last mile logistics support and expo facilitations, so winning an opportunity doesn't become an unfunded burden. And fourth, a conversation feedback loop tracks every MSME from list to sold, feeding real data back into BRIspot and Link UMKM. This is how Ibu Ondang's exhibitions booth finally turns into a sale.
Honorable judges, currently BRI's mentors spend roughly 20% of their working hours on basic digital literacy. This represents a structural misallocation of our scarcest organizational assets, wasting hours that could be deployed for high-value business development. Entering Pillar 3, maximizing high-touch resources productivity, our strategy doesn't require expanding headcount. Instead, we allocate resources based on intervention complexity. We offload the foundational training to digital channels at the Link UMKM at near zero marginal cost. This is powered by a continuous level loop, an adaptive gating system that cycles through 5 stages: assess, route, intervene, monitor, and reassess. MSMEs ready for commercializations are fast-tracked directly to layer 3 for personalized buyer matching bypassing irrelevant basic models. The financial and operational impact is really massive. By redirecting those 10.4 million hours, BRI can scale its high-touch support from just 1,200 MSMEs to 260,000 annually. This is 260 times bigger, utilizing this exact same ecosystem. To execute this, we designed a 3-year phase timeline. We formulate the strategy with low-cost diagnostic infrastructure in Pillar 1, as it dictates the entire routing system. To ensure the accountability, we expand the KPIs beyond traditional credit metrics, sequenced perfectly with our rollout. The year 1 focuses on diagnostic adoption, and second year on referral conversion rates, and the third year secures ultimate commercial and financial outcomes.
Finally, the number. Our financial model shows revenue climbing steadily from year 1 to year 3, driven mainly by Pillar 3, navigations and dynamic referral, followed by Pillar 1, adaptive assessment, while Pillar 2, commercialization gains build more gradually. This isn't just break-even, it is sustainable value creations backed by a 43.4% ROI and 25.1% IRR, and a fast 2.39-year payback period.
Ultimately, Ascend shift BRI's empowerment strategy from expanding program reach towards creating greater value for every MSME served. Standardized digital platform continue supporting foundational needs while scarce high-touch resources are prioritized for business that require personalized commercialization support. By combining adaptive assessment, coordinated commercialization, and dynamic resource allocation, Ascend enabled BRI to accelerate sustainable MSME graduation while reinforcing its dual mandate as Indonesia's leading commercial microfinance institution and its foremost MSME empowerment partner.